Okay, so now I'm going to talk about supporting roles. First would be Max's friends. Max has Jace, Mickey, well, at least, yeah. So Jace, Mickey, James, Carlos, um, Jose. Two brothers, James, Mickey, and James. Yeah, so he has five friends. Always gotta count them just to make sure they're like my own kids. I gotta be like, who's here? Okay, they're all here. So yeah, those are his friends that he met in New since elementary school. And I forgot to mention this, but Max goes to a charter school, and he goes to a school, and it's called Tower Prep. And I got the name from my favorite show that used to be on Cartoon Network, and they no longer play it anymore. So yeah, yeah, and it was called Tower Prep, and it was about kids that like wake up and they end up in a school, and students have powers, things like that. And the trick is to get out of the school, or at least they can't get out. And they're trying to get out. It was a really back in the day when Cartoon Network had them good shows. Like, and when I say good shows, not just cartoons, they had good shows with like actors, like real people in them, like way back in the day. And I don't know, they just stopped. Maybe they stopped because everyone liked cartoons more, and it's called Cartoon Network, and they weren't feeling it. But I loved it. Makes me want to go back and watch some more if I can find it. But anyway. Yeah, so I'm gonna start with Max's closest friend, which is Mickey. Mickey is a name that I got from he's a white male, by the way. At least that's in my head. He's a white male, so he's a white male. And his name came from an anime that I watched. Don't remember the name. Revolutionary Girl, something, I don't remember. But the character. There were in the show. There was these two characters, their brothers and sisters. I think they were twins, and the twin was named Mickey. And I thought the name was cute. I thought I was like, Mickey, ain't that Mickey Mouse? But it's a cute name. It's a cute nickname, and I just like it, so I put him in there. And Mickey is Max's closest friend. Mickey and Jace are both Max's closest friends. They were the first to approach him, and Max is closer with Mickey because Mickey's father works for Max's father in the same company. He works in a little lower, like in the factory, stuff like that. So, well, not really the factory, but anyway, yeah. So he works for Max's father. So they kind of seen each other in passing and things like that, and been to the same social circle, dinner party, things like that. They came over to Max's house. They've been in their house, things like that, and they've been friends even when Kaylee was alive. They knew each other, but you can say that they got much closer when Jackie came into the picture, and Max became more open, and so because of that, became close with Mickey, and so yeah, so Mickey and Jackie became Mickey and Max. My brain is not working today, guys. Became very close friends, and Mickey, he's around the same age, high school, things like that, and yeah, he doesn't really have. He just follows what his parents say. He don't really have any set goals or dreams. His dream or his goal was to work for Kevin, for KP's Industries. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what he always thought. Like, I don't really have. He never had any ambition or goals for something else. That's where his father's work, and that's where he's gonna work. And he's been groomed and trained to be, since him and Max are friends, and Max is supposed to also take over. He's been groomed and trained to be Max's right hand man for when Max takes over, similar to how Josh is with Kevin. So that's Mickey. Jace, his family is he comes from a Christian home. He's white, blonde hair, blue eyes. Typical, like, all-American boy. And he comes from a family with politicians, people work in the government, things like that. His mom is the principal of the school, while his father is a senator. So politics and just like hierarchy, things like that. He just grew up around that. He became friends with Max through Mickey because they were close, and so so they become friends that way. And he's been the school's president since elementary school, like the class president, up into being school's president. Not school. Well, I'll say class president because he's a senior class president. yeah. So and it's in his blood. Got it from his parents. So that's, and also too, he's been kind of groomed that way, to just be a leader, things like that. And his parents are both leaders, so he got it from them. Who's next? I said Mickey, James. James is African American. His parents, I think his mother's a doctor, his father's a lawyer, and he comes from. I mean, his family is not rich. He's come from a rich background. His parents both went through school and earned their way to have the careers that they have, to even be able to afford to send him to a private school, which is Tower Prep, which follows from K through 12. So that's the type of school it is, and it's like the top school in New York, and just very rich and prestigious. And their mascot is the Bulldogs. Yes, they're the Bulldogs. I remember that. I know it's the Bulldogs. I'm trying to remember if I wrote that in case I know something else. But they are the Bulldogs. And the reason I choose Bulldogs is because my elementary school was Bulldogs. I went to Fern Creek Elementary School, and I have beautiful memories there. So, and I like the Bulldogs like that. I like that better as a mascot. I think it's a nice mascot. So, yeah. Yeah, so James, yeah. So he's cool, laid back, he the way that they became friends is, Max, from the play date, the play date that he had in the Paid Mother, and also from when Jackie came to his school in kindergarten to when Jackie came to his school in kindergarten to give him his lunch, and then he had a whole bunch of food, and then they were like, "Oh, you got food?" Like, you know how little kids are, so they gathered, and they became friends after that. And then, yeah, it was a play date and all that. So, yeah, so James is, African American, born and raised in New York. He's the cool, outgoing of the bunch, likes to have fun, play pranks, jokes, things like that. While JC is the more serious, and he helps bring everyone together and compromise and things like that. He's kind of like the leader because of, his role, his upbringing and things like that. Next is Jose. Jose and James and Carlos, who are brothers. Jose and Carlos are both brothers. And then James, they all three lived around each other. They kind of come from the same background in terms of they know the meaning of a dollar and hard work, and they've seen their parents work hard to get where they're at. Unlike James, let me say this first. So yeah, they grew up together. James, Carlos, and Jose. They're all friends. They've been close with one another, and they all became, very good friends. And then, so Jose's oldest, and Carlos is the youngest. They're just a year apart, I think. Well, they're in the same grade, so just maybe like a few months or something like that. Well, I don't really know their birthdays. Let's just be honest. This is just both siblings in the same grade, which is possible. So whatever. I don't want to get into the terminology and all that stuff. I don't want to think about math right now because I have a math test tomorrow. So anyway, So they, Carlos and Jose's family, they are unlike the rest of the friends. They are not rich. Their family owns a restaurant in New York. They own a Mexican restaurant, and that's how they make their income. And it's just very difficult for them. They own a restaurant, and they send their kids to private school. So, they're very hard-working people, and they're first generation, and they're also immigrants. I don't think they're in a scholarship program. But so their parents in the school, things like that. And Jose, he knows how hard it is for his family just to send both of them to school. And so he knows once they graduate, it's going to be even harder in terms of college and things like that. So Jose, he wants to give up that goal of going to college and make his little brother Carlos instead have that goal, because he knows Jose is not really good in terms of reading comprehension, all that. Not reading comprehension, but he's just not good at school. He don't like school. Kind of like James, in a way, just like the party, chill, lay back, have fun. That's why they're just cool best friends. Carlos is more quiet, kind of in the background, likes to read. He's very good at IT and things like that as well with STEM, because he's in the STEM program for Tower Prep. And so Carlos recognizes Jose recognizes Carlos' worth, and he know that he can be the one to help the family out and to, do better. And, reach that American goal and dream, which is to have him graduate from a university and have a career and things like that and make good money. And so he knows that his brother can do it. So he agrees to step down and help out in the family restaurant, and then to go live in Mexico and work in his uncle's shop. That's what his plan after high school.